In this video, we will be hosting a static website in Google Cloud using HTTP and HTTPS both with DNS service as GoDaddy. Before hosting a static website in Google Cloud, we need to have few prerequisites in place. The first one is static website files. These are the code files which we are going to upload into our cloud account. These can either be HTML, CSS or JavaScript. Second is domain. This is the place where the user request will come, that is www.something.com. Third is the Google Cloud account wherein the actual hosting will take place. So before we set up the website and host it in Google Cloud, let's go through each of these to understand what we are going to use in this demonstration and some brief information about each of these. The static website which we are going to host in Google Cloud in this video demonstration is going to be a simple sample HTML single page file. Okay, I have created this as a sample with basic HTML. If I just click on it and show it to you, so this is how this page looks like, and I also have a 404 page which is for inaccessible pages. So these are the two pages I have in my static website which I am going to host in Google Cloud. This is just a sample page for demonstration. If you have an Angular framework website or a Vue framework static website, then you can use that with the same steps. Now to host this in Google Cloud, we need a domain. Domain is an alphanumeric alias which an end user use to access your website, like www.google.com, where Google is a domain. Okay. So if you already don't have a domain, what you need to do is you need to buy one. To buy a domain, you can simply go to Google and you can type buy website domain, and this will give you a lot of options where you can buy a website domain. Okay. Now what these options are, these options which you see are just different companies which are known as domain registrars. These are those businesses which handles the reservation of these domain names with an assigned individual. They are accredited by the respective registries and they have the authority to sell those domains, and then they get that data back to the registry to tell who has purchased that domain. So if you want to go ahead with the most popular one, you have option of GoDaddy here. If you want to go with Google domains, so Google also provide a service where you can buy these domains directly from Google. So if I go to GoDaddy, okay, and let's say I search for a domain example.com, this will give you the results of whether your domain is available or not. So you can try another if that is not available. Okay, so maybe I can add a 1 2 3. So if you are entering a domain name which is not already taken or is already assigned to some other individual, then you will see an option like this, that this domain name is available and you can add to cart and purchase it. Okay, in my case I already have one domain name available and I am going to use that. So let's go ahead with that. So the domain I already have available with me is clouddemopurpose.com. This is the domain I am going to use to host our static website. I have purchased this domain via GoDaddy. Whenever you purchase a domain via any domain registrar, in this case which is GoDaddy, then you get a set of DNS records by default. These are different DNS record types such as A record type, CNAME, name server record types and SOA record type. We also get default name servers which are provided by the DNS provider with which we have purchased the domain. These NS records entries, the name server record entries, these are the records that contain the information of the name server which is associated with the domain. Okay, name server tells us which DNS server is being used and which DNS server is authorized to handle this domain. This is where the actual website traffic is routed to when anyone goes in the browser and visit your website, and then from there it is routed further. Since in this video we are going to host our website in Google Cloud using GoDaddy DNS server, these are the DNS records and name server which we are going to use. Now let's go and set up our Google Cloud account. To set up a Google Cloud account, what we basically need is a Gmail ID. So if you don't already have one, you can do a Gmail account sign up. Once you have a Gmail account, what you need to do is log into that and go to console.cloud.google.com. So this will open the Google Cloud platform window for you for the first time. Now it will give you an option to select your country and accept terms of services. Do that. Now this is the home page of Google Cloud account. As you can see on the top left corner, Google is providing a free trial worth $300 to explore its products. To practice this demonstration, we need to activate this free trial so that we can use the respective services and set up our website. So what we need to do is we need to go on the right hand side where we have an activate button. Click on that and activate our free trial. When we click on this button, it will ask for a credit card information and some details so that it can authenticate us. It will not charge you for anything. This is a simple process to authenticate that this is a valid user who is using the trial. So go ahead and do that. Once you have activated your free trial by entering your credit card information, it will come up with this screen where we just need to select some options. So we can select personal project here, and we can select first option, and we can select websites, and here we can select anything which is applicable to us and click on done. So now we have set up our free trial for Google Cloud account. Okay. Now another thing to note here is that everything which we are going to do in the cloud, okay, is connected to that particular project which is reflected in this window. Okay, so if I go and click here, I can see that there is one project which Google has created for us when we activated our free trial. Okay, this is called My First Project. If I want, I can add more, but we don't need it for this exercise, but you can go to the new project and can add more. So let's cancel that. So with this, we have completed all the prerequisites. Now let's move to next step. Now we are going to host our website with DNS service as GoDaddy. Okay. Before we go ahead and do that, we are going to understand two DNS records in our DNS configuration in GoDaddy. Okay. So if I come back to my DNS management, I can see two records here. One is record type A and one is CNAME. These two will be very significant when we'll be hosting our HTTP and HTTPS site, because we will need to point our domain to respective cloud components in both the cases. Now what does this type record A means and what does this CNAME means? This A record type is pointing to our root domain. What is our root domain? Let's understand it a bit. So my domain is clouddemopurpose.com. This is the domain I have purchased. Now when I navigate to this domain via internet, I can navigate in two ways. Okay. First one is I can navigate with the domain name. Okay. Second, I can navigate with www.clouddemopurpose.com. The first one is known as my root domain. Okay. And the second one is known as subdomain. So the top two entries which you are seeing in this DNS records, that is record type A. This is my root domain entry. And the second entry which you are seeing for CNAME with www, this is my subdomain entry. So at this point of time, by default, my www is pointing to my root domain. So if I take my domain at this moment and I navigate to this in a browser where I have not hosted anything, I have only purchased a domain, what I will see? So if I type this, I get that this is parked free courtesy of GoDaddy. Similarly, if I type with my subdomain, I will get the same message because my subdomain is pointing to my root domain. See, So I got the same message in both the cases, when I access by my root domain and when I access by the subdomain. Okay. So this particular difference and how these two entries work when you are using the GoDaddy DNS service while hosting with cloud will be very useful in understanding next few steps. So that's why we have spent these few minutes to understand this. Now let's go back and host our website. The first step which we are going to do to host our website is domain verification. That is, we are going to tell Google Cloud that I am an authorizer of this domain. So right now I have purchased this domain in GoDaddy. Google Cloud does not know that I own this domain. If I don't do verification, then there is no way of knowing that I am the right person to host any content on this domain. This is done to make sure that I don't go and host something on someone else's domain. So for that, we are going to use a service known as domain verification. Go to search, enter domain verification, click on this, click on add domain, enter the domain name, click on add domain. Now we need to verify the ownership of this domain. Okay, let's do take me there. Now as we can see, it has automatically picked up that my DNS provider is godaddy.com. So what I need to do is I need to click on this button verify. Okay, so now verification is completed. Click on go to property verification. Now once I do that, I come to Webmaster Central. This is a place where we have all these properties added to our account. Now I added this property. If I want to see verification details, I can see it here. Okay. So this has been added as a DNS text record. I can also verify the same in my domain manager settings. If I refresh this page right now, then I will see that a TXT record has been added with Google site verification. So this is telling my Google account that I am an authorized user of this domain. Okay. Now close this. Okay. Enter the domain name again. Okay. Now this becomes a allowed domain. So we have completed the domain verification. Next we are going to do is we are going to go to Google Cloud Storage bucket. Click on create bucket. The first thing we need to tell is bucket name. In case of websites, my bucket name can be my root domain or can be any of my subdomain. Okay. Now how to decide which bucket name I need to keep? So first I am hosting using HTTP. That means I am going to host it purely from this storage bucket only. If I am doing that, then I will need to point my domain to my storage bucket. Now if I look at DNS records, my root domain is a record type. That means it can only point to IP addresses. Okay. Whereas my subdomain, which is www, it has CNAME. That means I can point the storage APIs in this value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my bucket name as www.clouddemoPurpose.com. Okay. This is giving a message that we have to verify this. This is a information message. Since we have already verified, we don't need to do anything else. Click on continue. Select the respective region. Then continue, leave everything else as default. Okay, so my bucket is created. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my code files to this bucket folder. If you have a root folder with a lot of subdirectories with CSS, images and other things, you can select upload folder. In my case, I will simply do upload files. So I will upload index.html. and I will upload 404.html. So now I have the content files in my bucket. So what I need to do next is I need to set up website configuration for this bucket. Okay. To do that, let's activate Cloud Shell. Okay. Now I will type a gsutil command in which I will do web set configurations. Then I will provide a parameter -m. What does this mean? That I am providing a main page suffix. This will be index.html. Now next I will provide is -e, which means which is the error page to go to. That will be 404.html. Okay. And then I will provide this bucket path. Click on authorize. So my website configuration is set for this folder. I can also view it with web get command. So we can see that my main page suffix is index.html and not found page as 404.html. We have done this so that our website knows which is the main page to visit when the domain is navigated and which is the page to visit in case any invalid URL is entered. Okay. So now our bucket is ready with content files and website configuration. Now what we need to do is we need to make this bucket accessible over internet. So when we create a bucket in Google Cloud, by default it does not have public access. Since our website is going to be accessible over internet, we need to enable public access and we need to add permissions to all users who are going to use website over net. So to do that, go to these three dots, click on edit bucket permissions. So first we are going to remove public access prevention. Click on confirm. Then go to add member and enter all users because this will be accessible to all users over internet. Now in role, go down. So we see two options here. One is cloud storage, one is cloud storage legacy. So in cloud storage legacy, we have storage legacy object reader, and in cloud storage, the new one, we have storage object viewer. We can select either of these two. Okay, and both will provide the read access to the site to all the users. The only difference between these two is the legacy permissions did not allow users to list the object under the bucket, but the new role allows that. So what I am going to do, I am going to go ahead with legacy role and I will click on save. Click allow public access. So now you will see a message, this is public to internet. Okay. So with this, our static website bucket is set up with the required permissions, with the website configurations, and with the required access. Now what we need to do is we need to point our domain to this bucket. Okay. So how we are going to do that? Go back to domain manager, edit this CNAME entry, and we are going to provide the Google Cloud Storage APIs. So that will be c.storage.googleapis.com. After editing, give it a few minutes to reflect. Now to verify whether my static website is hosted properly or not, I will copy this and I will take it to a new tab and type. So now my static website is hosted over internet via Google Cloud Storage bucket and using DNS management of GoDaddy. I can also verify my 404 page. I can visit any invalid URL. So let's say users.html and since that page does not exist, it has taken me to the error page which we specified in the website configuration, that the URL you are looking for is not valid. So with this we have hosted our static website using Google Cloud Storage bucket and GoDaddy DNS entries. Now if I try to access this website using HTTPS, so if I go ahead and I will type HTTPS and I will try to run it. So now when I do that and I try to access this website by HTTPS, I am basically getting this message. This is coming because we have not set up this website for HTTPS. We have set up for HTTP but not for HTTPS. So if I change the URL again and try to access by HTTP, then it will show and it is working for me. So now what we will do is we will perform some additional steps so that the same website should work by HTTPS as well. For that we will go back to our Google console. Now we'll again go to the top left corner and we will look for network services. So we'll go down and here we have network services. Pin this so that it appears in the top. So I now have network services in top itself. So click on this and go to load balancing. Why we are doing load balancing? We are doing load balancing because to make HTTPS work for a static website which is hosted via Google Cloud Storage bucket, it's only allowed while load balancing in Google Cloud. So what we are going to do is we are going to create an HTTPS load balancer and then we are going to route the HTTP traffic to that balancer. So let's see how to do that. Click on create load balancer. Select the HTTPS load balancing. Click on start configuration. In this I am going to select the first option because for my site the traffic is going to come from internet. So click on continue. Enter a name. So name can be my website HTTPS load balancer. Okay. Now click on backend configuration. Go to right hand side and select create a backend bucket. Now in this we can enter the name as, let's say, website bucket, or I can enter website backend bucket. Okay. Browse to the main bucket. Select. Okay. We don't need to select enable cloud CDN as we don't need it right now. Come to advanced configuration. There is nothing additional to select here. Click on create. So a backend bucket is created. Click on OK. Now go to host and path rules. In this, leave everything as default. Go to front end configuration. In this, what we are going to do is select the protocol as HTTPS. Then we have to select IP version. IP version you can select as per your own preference. If you prefer IP6, then you can select IP6. If you want to go ahead with IPv4, then you can go ahead with IPv4. In IP address, what you are going to do is we are going to create a new static address. So website static address, and we are going to reserve it. Next we are going to create an SSL certificate. Click on create a new certificate. Enter the name as website SSL certificate. We are going to go ahead with Google managed certificate. If you have your own SSL certificate, you can upload that here. In domains, we can specify all the domains through which we want to serve our website content. So in my case, I am going to go with clouddemopurpose.com. Okay, and I will also add the root domain. So that is clouddemopurpose.com. Sorry. Okay. So click on create. Click on OK. policy we can leave as default. If you want to change which TLS settings to be enabled for your SSL certificates, then you can go and create a custom policy. Right now we are going to keep it with maximum exposure, that is with GCP default. So this is done. Click on done. Now go to review and finalize. So in review and finalize, just review what we have done just now and click on create. So this is now created. Let's go inside and check the status. So now what we need to do is, we need to point our DNS service to this static IP address which our load balancer is using. To do that, we will copy this. Now in here, we will point our root domain to our load balancer IP address. Okay, click on save. And we will add a same a record entry to point our www subdomain to load balancer IP address. So for that, what we need to do is, first we need to delete this entry, delete this, then add a record and click on save. Okay, so with this, both our root domain and our subdomain, they are pointing to our load balancer IP address. Okay, now let's go back to Cloud Console. Now if you go to SSL certificate, if I check the status, then I see the status as provisioning for both of my root domain and main domain. So this is coming because Google is currently provisioning this with the load balancing and applying those settings which we have just created. This process takes some time, and till the time you don't see two green ticks here, that is, these are provisioned, we will not be able to run our website with HTTPS. As per Google documentation, this process can take up to 90 minutes as well, okay, to make the site available while load balancer. So what we can do is, we can monitor the status after a few minutes. Now if I check the status, I can see that for both my root domain and for my subdomain, the domain status is coming as green. My status is active, which means my SSL certificates are active. I can also see the certificate chain. So what I can do now is, go back to our website and press enter. So this time I did not get an error message that this page is not secure, and I am using an HTTPS URL. So with this, we have set up our static website using HTTPS. I can also see this icon which tells that this URL is secure. Now one thing left to do here is, I need to route my HTTP traffic to HTTPS. For that, we will go back to our load balancer and create one more balancer to route our HTTP traffic to HTTPS. So back to Google Cloud Platform, click on load balancing, click on create load balancer, again select this one, same option. Here we are going to type HTTP to HTTPS routing. Okay, we don't need to set up any backend configuration for this. Go to host and path rules. In this, select advanced host and path rule and click on this. Select action as redirect the client to different host path. Okay, leave this field as it is. Come to path redirect. In this, select prefix redirect. Leave this value blank. Keep this as default, and in HTTPS redirect, click on this. Okay, after that, click on done. So we have set up our host and path rules with this. Now click on front end configuration. In front end configuration, this time we will select protocol as HTTP. Now in IP address, we are going to select the IP address of our HTTPS load balancer so the HTTP traffic can be routed. Okay, click on done. So this is now created. Okay, now let's come back to our site. go to the URL. In this URL, remove this S and press enter. When I do that, I don't see any change. I see that same page is being loaded. Okay. And if I go and click on URL, now the URL has automatically changed to HTTPS. That means that my HTTP requests are now being routed to HTTPS. I can validate it again, remove this, press enter. Or if I want to validate it fresh, I can take this URL into a new tab, put it there and press enter. And I will see that my HTTP request is routed to HTTPS. Okay. So with this, we have completed our tutorial in which first we saw how to set up our static website using HTTP, and then we saw how to set up using HTTPS.